and welcome to Sports Sound Off. My name is Randy Etchins, your host, and our guest this evening is John Stark, former FSU and Baltimore Ravens quarterback. We're going to be talking some sports, having some fun. The idea tonight is we hope that you can get involved in the conversation. Last week we had several callers and we had one email. We want to make sure that you guys are involved out there in our viewership. We'll be talking about college football, pro football, the Rays. But first, we want to start this conversation with John. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, FSU fans will remember the teams that you were on, but we'll start with childhood a little bit.
Okay.
You grew up in Tennessee. You came to Florida to go to FSU in the 90s.
That's
right.
right.
What other schools were you looking at? What kind of choices were you looking at?
Well, Tennessee had somebody by the name of Heath Schuler there,
Yeah,
so they
that's
weren't
right.
real interested. And I was looking at some SEC schools. Also, I played baseball, and I had that option. But when you get a chance to play for Florida State in the mid '90s, when they were Florida, doing their thing, or we were doing our thing, I couldn't pass that opportunity up.
Yeah. Now, I got to ask the question, of course. Coach Bowden.
Yes.
What was it like to be recruited by him? He sounded, when you heard him on the air,
Yeah.
and you heard him talking, he sounded so inspiring. What was it like to have him come to your home?
Well, one thing about Coach Bowden is he really got to know all of his quarterbacks, and Coach Bowden he was a true inspiration to me, just by the way he lived his life, and I'm just very thankful and appreciative to be able to play for a man of that caliber.
Yeah, it's he was one of those people. Whether you were Florida, Florida State, Miami, it didn't matter. You respected the man, and that was
Absolutely.
That's always wonderful. Now you were part of 4 ACC championship teams. Is that
Three.
right? Three. Okay.
Three undefeated ACC.
Okay, undefeated. These Florida State. I know you're giving me a hard time. I know I'm a Gator. Don't give me a hard time here.
That's all right.
Now you did back up a Heisman Trophy winner.
That's correct.
With Charlie Ward. You had work done. You've got Derek Brooks. I mean, that's a lot of talent on those teams.
A lot of talent, I could go on and on. William Floyd, so many NFL players. Work done, obviously Derek Brooks, Charlie Ward, who went on to go have a tremendous basketball career.
Absolutely,
And it was just a special time to be at Florida State. I was there 3 years, and we won 3 major bowls, won a national championship, won the ACC Sugar Bowl, and an Orange Bowl championship. So, I came out of there pretty good after only 3 years.
That's pretty good. Now, you made it's funny, we were talking before the show, and you were talking about having the full Derek Brooks experience
Yes.
in practice or a practice game.
Well, I tell you what, me and Derek were really tight in college, and one of the reasons why I think we kind of became so close is before the season, they always have at most schools, but at Florida State, it's called the best of the rest, and it's basically a game to get the starters ready. Well, I happen to be part of the rest, not the best, and I happen to be starting for the rest.
Oh, no red jersey, huh?
No red jersey. No. Oh, no. So, anyways, and you couldn't audible out of any of these plays because they wanted the first team to get ready.
Right.
So, they call a bootleg to a blitzing Derek Brooks, and you can't audible out of these plays now.
So you're watching your life flash before your
so
eyes.
I give myself a little Hail Mary and run it right into it, and as soon as I turn my head after the play fake, he just lifts me and just buries me.
There you go.
So, anyways, it's I get up because I'm trying to prove that I belong at Florida State, and that's nothing. It's here we go. Let's run the next play. And on my way back to the huddle, I pass out, and so that's how me and Derek got to be such good friends because he actually, once I came to, he said, "John, I'm just so glad you're my teammate, and I took it easy on you."
Oh, it's funny. I remember watching an interview with him junior year, I think it was, and somebody asked, have you made the perfect hit? And he said, well, you haven't seen a trauma helicopter yet.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh,
Right,
great.
right,
You know,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is the kind of guy. Do you stay in touch with those guys now? or-
You know what? After I left Florida State, I went back to Nashville,
Right.
got heavily involved in my real estate business,
Right.
and I have not much, but we had the type of relationship, you know how you have friends, if you don't see them for a while, you just pick right back up.
Sure.
And I'm sure if I were to see Derek or talk to Derek, it'd be the same way as with a lot of my teammates.
That's great. Now, you decided to leave FSU and go to Trinity.
I did. I did do that. I had the dream of not only making it to Florida State, making it to the NFL. And I battled Danny Cannell back and forth. We were co-backups for the national championship year.
Right.
And Danny was a heck of a quarterback. And once they decided they were going to, the writing was on the wall.
Right.
I still had my dream, and so I took my game on the road and went and played for Leslie Frazier at a small school.
Right.
He's now the defense coordinator for the Vikings,
Oh, okay.
and he'll probably be one of the next head coaches we see.
Right.
So, it worked out great for me.
Oh, that's good. I mean, you got a chance to showcase your talent.
Yeah.
If you lose the job to Danny, nothing you can do, right?
Well, and I mean, although I did play a lot, my sophomore year, played a lot my junior year, I wasn't going to play enough that I felt like, I needed, from the different advice I got.
Right. Now, you were drafted by the Ravens.
I was drafted by the Ravens.
What was your NFL experience like?
Well, my NFL experience was somewhat short-lived. I tore my my shoulder pretty bad in the first few years I was there, and for a big quarterback, just sits back there and tries to throw bombs and heaves
Yeah.
the ball
Right.
and can't move or throw. That they don't really want you up there.
Yeah, that makes it difficult.
Yeah.
So your transition then, you're obviously transition. You go, okay, I've got something to fall back on, and you go into your real estate career and go that way.
That's what I've done.
Well, that's great. Now, I got to ask you a question here.
Sure.
And this could be difficult. And we were talking about Coach Bowden. How do you feel about how the transition's gone from Coach Bowden to Jimbo Fisher?
Well, like my friend Derek Brooks thinks. I mean, he thought it was a terrible idea when it happened. Because it just put so much pressure on the whole situation to have the whole coaching waiting thing. But now that we're to the point, Jimbo is the coach. I feel really good about the direction.
Cool.
I would like to see that everybody that loves Coach Bowden. I would love to see him ride off on the white horse, but life doesn't go that way.
Yeah, sometimes it does.
No, it
How do you
doesn't.
think Jimbo's going to do with recruiting?
Oh, I think he's going to do it great. I think he's going to do absolutely great. He has already proved that. And one of my best friends is Dave Ewert, who coaches the Tampa Bay Storm, and he played with Jimbo in college.
Okay.
And Jimbo was a quarterback. And he said, he's a leader, he's a tough guy, and he's a great guy. And so I'm going to take my friend's advice and think we're going to do pretty good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, this weekend we get to start to see really what's going on. We've got
great weekend.
Got some great weekend in sports for you guys that are college football fans, right? We've got Miami, Ohio State. We've got Florida State and Oklahoma, and Florida and South Florida, which at a time people have said this is a walkover. That's not the case now.
No.
Not anymore. You got Penn State, Alabama.
Oh, there's some great games.
I mean, we got some really good football games.
Great football games.
If any of the viewers here want to chime in on this, let us know. Actually, we've got a caller. I'm going to take our first caller here and go from there. Here we are. Caller, go ahead. Welcome to Sports Sound Off.
Yeah, hi. I was calling to ask John about a game where he replaced the starting quarterback and went on the field and stormed North Carolina State up in Raleigh. I wanted to hear him talk a little bit about that.
Here's a friendly call.
Well, that's one of my best friends, Brian Brandenburg, who I've done a lot of real estate stuff with. He's with Wells Fargo, and he went to North Carolina State, and I happened to come into that game and go had a good game. I think it was 10 for 10 that game, threw a touchdown to Warwick Dunn, and it was a Thursday night game, which is the only game anybody can watch. So
Right.
so all my friends got to see me, and so that was a good
That's cool.
game. Good
All right.
game.
Thanks for the call, Brian. I know that John lit up when he heard the message. So thanks very much for calling. And for those that are interested, feel free to call in anytime.